Hello everyone, welcome back again to our Python tutorial. So this time we will be talking about Python comments and variables. So welcome to Tech in Tech. But do not forget to like, comment, and as well share to others that you think might need this knowledge. Although in the last video we've discussed a little about Python comments, but today we're discussing Python comments in full details, so that by the end of today, you understand what we mean by Python comments, why we use it, and also by the end of today, you understand what is Python variables and how to use them. So now, what is comments in Python? Comments can be used to explain Python code. Comments can also be used to make the code more readable. And comments can be used to prevent execution when testing code. We are still going to see examples on how this happens. We use comments to explain code, to make our code readable, and as well to prevent execution when testing our code. Remember in the last video, if you've not watched it, I would like you to do so that you understand each step after the other. We said when we use Python comments, sometimes you have to explain the codes that we want to write, so that when next you come back to the code, you understand what code you've written down, probably in future time or in months to come, or maybe you want to put some corrections on the code. The comment you've written on up the code or under the code will help you to understand the reason for the code you've written down. And also the second aspect that says comments can be used to make the code more readable. It's when you put code in your comments, it helps to whoever will come to your code to use it or to check, we're able to understand the purpose of the code you've written down and why you've written. So it helps them to be more readable, it helps them to understand the code you've written down. And comments can be used to prevent execution when testing. Sometimes after writing a code and you execute it, you probably want to remove some aspect of code. You might, instead of deleting those code or aspect of code, you might just comment that code. Then you will see that the code will no longer execute because you've already commented it. So all these will be explained as well as we do some examples today. Now, how do we create a comment? Comment starts with an hash, and Python will ignore them. So when you use this hashtag here, Python will ignore whatever you use with hash. It comments it automatically for you. Just like this statement, this is a comment. When you use this hash, remember we've already used this hash for this only line of comment. We do not put this hash beside this print. So it's going to only print hello world for us because comment is not at the back of it. Comments can be placed at the end of a line and Python will ignore the rest of the line. So after writing this content and you place this comment at the end of the line, Python will ignore the rest of the line because we already put an hashtag at the by it. So a comment does not have to be text that explains the code. It's not every time it's text that explains the code that is the comment. It can also be used to prevent Python from executing code, just like what I've explained earlier. So the code might be correct, print hello world, print shares mates, yes, it will give you the answer. But because you don't want it to be executed and you don't want to delete it, probably might still use that line of code some other time. You can just comment the line that you don't want it to execute, and you will see that Python won't execute this code. It will only execute the one at the down that is not commented. So before going to the multi-line comment, let's see example of what we discussed earlier in how to comment it. So we'll be going to our PyCharm now. Remember I told you already how to use our PyCharm. So we want to do examples of creating a comment now. Going to our PyCharm. Remember I told you that throughout our Python video tutorial, we are going to be using our PyCharm because it's easier to use. So this is an example of what we've used in the last video. Remember I told you before using it, you download your PyCharm and make sure you have Python on your system. I explained that in the last video. If you've not watched it, please do well to watch it. Then after doing that, you create a folder, name the folder. I name my folder helloworld.py. Then I right click and open it using the PyCharm because I already have it on my system. So it's open for you. Automatically it creates a file for you known as main.py. So you can create another file name. How do you do that? You come to this whole line here, come to file. There's an arrow there. You click on new, click on it. Then here is asking what type of file. Is it HTML or Python? Click on Python file. Then name it whatever name you want. Okay, let me say we want to talk about comments. So let me say comments. So since it's already a Python file, it will create a .py for me automatically. Then I click enter. So as you can see, that's created. It's now asking me if I want to add it to my Git. If you've not watched a video on how to use our Git, we have a video on how to use Git and the purpose of Git, because as a developer, it is important for you to know how to use your Git and GitHub. So let me say, okay, add to my Git. In future time, probably we will still want to push our code to GitHub. The importance is there in the video. And on the bio section too, you see the video if you want to watch it on how to use your Git and GitHub, because it is very important to know how to use it. So we'll be working on comments by using this my file now. Now, all the example we're talking about earlier, remember we said comments start with an hash. So I have this hash now. Then let me just write something. This is a comment. Then I'll click enter and put print hello world. So I'm telling you to print this for me, but this one that has been commented will not give me any results. So if I comment this by the side, it will not also print hello world for me. So let's see now. Since I'm working under comment.py, I cannot click on play for it to display my project. So I have to change this here to the name of the file I'm working on. So I'm working on comment.py, so I have to click this main, this arrow, and change it to current file. Trying to tell you that okay, whenever you want to execute this current file I'm working on. Then you click on play. So because I've installed Python on my system, it's going to be displaying on my terminal. As you can see the answer here, hello world. So because I've commented this, it will not show on my terminal. So let me move it a bit up so that you can see how the code has been executed. Now, we can also comment by placing it at the end of the line. This same thing now, when I put print hello world, I can still comment by putting my comments. Let's say this is a comment. It will not still display this is a comment because as you can see, it's only displaying what my hello world because I did not comment. I've commented this and this. What about if I comment this print.hello world and let me click on play? Yeah, and you see that it not display anything for me because I'm trying to tell the Python that okay, this is just a comment, don't execute it for me. Now let's also try another example. What if I have, let me clean this comment here. What if I have a line comment, like I want to explain a particular lines of code and I want to put that as a multi-line comment? Will I be putting, how will I do that? You can do that in two ways. Here I have I can put my hash. This is a comment, then put the comments here written, and can put another comment. Like those statements can be so long, it matters what you want to explain for the next line of code you are writing. Just one line. I'm just writing something like a sample. So if you want to write a lot of things before you write your code, you can just write a multi-line comment by putting hash 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 in each line of comments you want. Then if you don't want to do this, probably you don't want to stress yourself writing line. Okay, let me just execute it so that you can see. First, let me click on play. You see that all the ones I've commented will not display, except this print hello world that was not commented. Now, what if I do not want to use this hash comment hash beside it? What can I still use? So I'm cleaning this now. Since my comments are very long, and there's a way I can still comment it. So I can put a 3 dot enter. Sorry. Let me scroll this down. Then at the end of the statement, I can still put my 3 dots. It's not dots, it is apostrophe, 3 dotted and 3 apostrophe or stuff like that. So can you see that this statement has been commented? So I prefer using these three because whatever I want to write, even though it's very long, I've written all the things I need to comment before my code. I'll just put these three inverted comma up and then the 3 inverted comma down. Then it comments whatever statement you've written before the code. So I can delete this now. Then let me play it and see on my execution. Can you see it's only executing what here? Hello world. All these were commented for me. So this is how to use comments. Remember what we discussed earlier, we can use comments in 3 ways. First, you can use it to explain Python code. You can use it to make the code more readable and prevent execution when testing. So if this is the code I want to write and I know that I'm not the only one that will make use of the code, probably we are working as a team. So I can just comment a statement that, okay, this code I'm writing down here is for a purpose for this. I will explain to them the purpose of the code, why I included that code to it. So I can just put it in the comment statement so that whenever the code is being executed, it will not include the statement that I've written. So, but anyone that comes to the code to see, you understand the next line of code I've written through my comments I've made. Then Python will not execute it for me. Or you can use it to write a comment on something you want to use to remind yourself later when you come back to the line of code you've written. Or probably you've written a line of code here and you don't want it to be executed, you don't want it to be, it's no longer useful, but you might still use it some other time and you don't want to delete it. So you can just comment it, that line of code, then Python will not execute it for you. So these are all the purpose of using our comments when writing your code in Python. We'll be going back now to the next part, which is variables. But if you still think you have questions on Python comments, feel free to please put that in the comment section. And do not forget to join the Telegram group and the WhatsApp channel so that we can assist you with whatever challenges you have. And do not forget to like if you are enjoying this video, and as well comment and share to others. So we'll be moving now to Python variables. So we've talked about multi-line comments already because Python does not really have a syntax for multi-line comments. So to add the multi-line comments, you insert a hash for each line, as you can see here, from what we discussed earlier. Then, or not quite as then that you can use the multi-line string. This is called multi-line string. It can be double quote, 3 lines, double quote, or double quote, yes, triple quote here. Since Python will ignore string literal that are not assigned to a variable, so you can add a multi-line string, triple quotes. Can you see the triple quote here? Just like what I did earlier on our PyCharm here. I use a single triple quote, so you can use double or single, anyone you want. So as long as the string is not assigned to a variable, Python will read the code, but then ignore it and you will have a multi-line comment. So now let's move to the variable part now, which is the main part for Python. So Python variables, what are variables? I'm sure this is not your first time to hear what variables are. What do we use variables to do? Variables are containers for storing data values. We use variables to store our data values. Then, how do we now create variables? Python has no command for declaring a variable, but a variable is created the moment you first assign a value to it. When you assign a value to a variable, it is created automatically. We have example here. X equals to 5, y equals to John, print x, print y. As you can see here, I'm assigning variable to my x and my y. Then I'm telling it print the value for me, print x value for me and print y value for me. Variables do not need to be declared with any particular type and can even change type after they have been set. Now, as you can see, x equals to 4, x equals to Sally. Here, I change it to different alphabets, but here I can still use the same. That's why here it's saying variable do not need to be declared with any particular type. You can use any alphabet or the same, and can even change type after they have been set. So this 4 here value here is an integer, which is an whole number. While x, which is Sally, as you can see the double quotes here, is a type of string, which we'll still discuss as we explain, not today, but in the coming videos. Then I ask it to print x for me. So let's see this now. What should we first do? Let's go to our PyCharm now. Since we are done with our comment part, so I'm going to create another file again for our variables. I'm coming to this line here, go to file and go to new. Click on it. Since I'm creating a Python file, click on Python file. So I'm going to name it variable and click on enter. So automatically, then I can add it to Git if you want. Then automatically created variable.py for me file on Python. So be working on this there. So the first example here I want to see is x is 5, y is this, print x, print y. So let's go to our PyCharm now. I have the code already because of time. So I have x equals to 5. So I'll now be typing one after the other, which will eat my time. So control paste now. So I can execute this by clicking play. So let's see if it will print x and y for me in my terminal. So I'm going to scroll up here now and see. As you can see, my x, it's assigned variable for it 5, y equals to John. So I now say print x, which means print the value of x for me, which is 5. As you can see in the answer here, and print y is printed John for me, which is the answer. Now, if you don't want to click this play for it to give you the answer, then another way you can get to answer in your terminal. You come here to the terminal, you click terminal here. So let's wait for it to load. Now I want to write directly here in my terminal. I don't want to click play here. I want it to display my answer on my terminal. So I'll write Python space the name of my file, which is variable.py, variable.py. Then I'll click enter. So let's wait for it. So as you can see, the answer is 5, which is x, and y is what? John. So if you don't want to click on play for it to display on this terminal, the first one we've done, like when you click on play, it displays for you here. Can you see? Or then you can go to your terminal. You can go to your terminal by typing directly. Make sure that you are working inside the folder you've created. Remember I told you the folder I created word.py. So this is the folder. Then I'm trying to tell you that okay, I want to execute a Python code. Then I'm writing the name of the file for it to execute, and that's why it has given me answer. So anyone you want from the two you can use. Then the second example here, I have x equals to 4, x is Sally. So let me write it here, or let me delete this because it's still going to give me this answer. As you can see that I wrote x equals to Sally, x equals to 4, print x for me. Here, I commented these two statements trying to explain this line of code. Can you see the function of our comment statement? Here, I'm explaining x equals to 4. I'm trying to tell the person reading the code that this x here is of type integer. The value for x here is of type integer, while the value for x here, this second line of code is explaining it, that's the type of string. So this is another way we can explain. You can use our comments to explain each line of code you are writing, so that whoever wants to come to our code will understand each line of code you've written down. So I can either click play here for it to give me the answer. You can see Sally. I said print x, so it can only print one for me because I'm trying to say I indicated that okay, x is 4, x is Sally. So it's printing only one because x is both 4 and Sally. And from the here says variables do not need to be declared with any particular type and can even change type after they have been set. What does that mean also? Remember I said x is variable 4. Now I now change type that okay, no, let my x to be Sally. Now print x. So it's going to read the second statement that I've given it, probably trying to tell you that okay, this second statement is one that is valid, that I want. I no longer want the first one since it is the same letter I'm using. But if I change this x now to, let's say, y, then I now tell it okay, then I tell it print x, so automatically it will print 4. So let's click play now and let's see the answer. It says click 4 because I indicated exactly. Then if I say okay, print y, automatically it will print Sally for me, as you can see here. But if both of them are the same, assigned to the same, so it's going to give me the second line of code because so we're thinking that oh, probably I changed my mind and it's the second one that is valid. So let's go back now. In the next part, we'll be going to casting. What is casting? How do we use it? If you want to specify the data type of a variable, this can be done with casting. We have x equals to string 3, y is integer, z is float 3, print x, print y, print z. Then also get the type. You can get the data type of a variable with the type function. X is 5, y is John, print type x, print type y. So let's take the example of what we just talked about now. I have this already on my notepad. So let me copy this and paste. So I'm going to delete this and paste this. So let me scroll now and reduce this. Okay, so now I have my value. I've assigned value now to this, this, and this. So I want it to print x, print y, print z. So let's see what it's going to give us by clicking play. Okay, so now let's scroll. Now, what are these indicating? I put str here, which is known as string. I put int here, which is known as integer. I put a float here. So it's trying to tell it that okay, when you are printing x for me, make sure that x is in string. When you are printing y for me, make sure that y is in integer. And when you are printing z for me, make sure that it is in float. As you can see the value down here, 3 here is a string, 3 here is an integer, and 3.0 here is a float. We also have second example here. So I have x equals to 5, y is John, print type. I'm going to copy here and paste. So let's say this time I'm not going to click on play. I'm going to write my Python, then variable.py, enter. So let's see what it's going to print for me. So I told you to print type x, print type y. Now this type means x equals to 5. What kind of 5 is it? What type? Is it an integer? Is it a string? Is it a float? So this type is trying to tell you that okay, print the type of x it is for me. Now it's printed the first one, class integer. So it's trying to tell me that this 5 here is in a class of integer, is an whole number. Now this print type y, I'm trying to tell you that print the type of y. For what type of y is this? What variable is it assigned to? What is this? So it's telling me that okay, it is a class of string. Now this string is always having a double quote up. When you say double quote up in a statement or in a word, then it is a string. So it's trying to tell me that okay, this type of y here that I want to print out here is in a class of what? String. So this is casting, how to get the type, and if you want to specify the data type, this is how you do it. Now we also have single or double quotes. String variables can be declared either by using your single or double quotes. For example, X is John, you have double quotes, print X. Double quotes are the same as single quotes. So anyone you like, you can use. X is John, print X. Now, what about being case sensitive? Variables names are case sensitive. Example, this will create two variables. You use small letter A, use capital letter A. There are two variable names. They are not the same. If you think if you use small letter A and you still use A is the same, no, they are not. So variable names are always case sensitive. So when you represent it with small letter A and capital letter, you just know that they'll give you different answer. So let's try it out. This is my PyCharm. I'll go to my code now. I already have because of time. So I have the first one, X is this, control copy, then I'll paste here. Control paste. So here, X is John, print X. So you can either use double quotes or a single quote. Now, I'm trying to tell you that the reason why we put these two things that I'm trying to tell you that either you use double quotes or a single quote, you still get the same answer. So I can click on my play. Let's see what it's going to give us. John. I still have John. So whether I use double quotes, you use single quotes, you still get the same answer. So take note of that. Now, in the case of case sensitive, how does it work? So we are going to assign variables to two different ones. A is this, and small letter A and capital letter A. So let's paste. I'll click on play now. So let's see. So I'm saying print A is giving me the value for A, print capital letter A. The variables are different. So even like use, as long as they are not the same alphabet, they are the same alphabet, but that's this is lowercase and uppercase. So it's saying these are different variable, which means that it is case sensitive. So that's why it's printing A differently and printing capital letter A, my uppercase A, differently. So take note of that as well. We're going to the next part that says variables names. A variable can have a short name like X and Y, or a more descriptive name, age, car name, total volume. We also have rules for Python variables, although that's short names, but has rules. A variable must start with a letter or the underscore character. A variable name cannot start with a number. Take note of that. It must start with a letter. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores, like from A to Z, 0 to 9, and underscores. That's all. And variables names are also case sensitive, like this age and this uppercase age and this always on uppercase are three different variables. They are never the same, even they are the same word and meaning. Now let's see legal variable names that we can use. We have this, they are all small letters. Here we have my variable equals to John, my underscore variable equals to John, underscore my. Can you see all these variable name assigned here obey these rules? Says they must contain only alphanumeric characters and underscores of A to Z, 0 to 9, and underscores. So alphanumeric characters, which is letter A to Z, then numbers 0 to 9, and an underscore. So all these are numeric characters, alphabet. You can use capital letter if you want, which is uppercase. You can use numbers. You can use underscores if you want to assign your variable. Then you can, each of it, make sure that each of the alphanumeric character or alphabet you use underscores are the exact one you are requesting it to print. Print my VAA, I'll print my underscore. So let's take this example now. Let's go to our PyCharm. On my notepad here, I have that line of code. So let's see if it's going to print it or give me an error to see if it follows the rules of the variable names. So now I'll be deleting this and write this here. So I'll click on play. Let's code this up so that we can see the line of code we want to execute. So let's click on play. So let's see our code. Let me scroll. So you can see that they are all correct because obeys the variable names that should be there, and they all give me the answer John, 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 John. You can see. Now These are legal variable names because they contain alphanumeric characters, underscores. You, all of them must not contain alphanumeric and underscores. I can see this one only contain alphabet. This one contain both alphanumeric and underscores. This one contain alphanumeric and number. So you are the one that know how to arrange it. If you don't want only alphabet, can include numbers or underscores for it. Now, what about illegal variable names? Like this one now. Numbers and alphabets is not obeying the right rule. We're supposed to be alpha before numbers. So this is illegal variable names, as you can see. And also the second one, my and hyphen alphabet. So this is also not obeying the rule. It's supposed to be underscore. While the last one, you can see that there is space here. So this is an example of illegal variable names. So this will produce errors. Remember that variables names are case sensitive. So moving to another part, which is the multi-word variable names. Variable names with more than one word can be difficult to read. So there are several techniques that we can use to make them more readable. First, we can use camel case. Each word except the first starts with a capital letter. Like this word now, except this first one. This starts with capital letter, this starts with capital letter, goes to John. So as you can see, it is readable. My variable name. So we can also use Pascal case. Each word starts with a capital letter. Starting from this my, starts with capital letter, capital letter, capital letter. And you can read it. It is readable. So we also have another one, which is the snake case. Each word is separated by an underscore character. So if you want to have a multiple variable names, we can use any of the three, either the camel case, the Pascal case, and the snake case, which is underscore. So now moving to many values to multiple variables. How do you assign many values to multiple variables? Python allows you to assign values to multiple variables in one line. Example, we have x, y, z, orange, banana, cherry, then print x, print y, print z. Instead of saying x equals orange, y equals to banana, z equals to cherry, one after the other, but you can assign the values to multiple variables in just one line. But we need to take note of something when doing this. Make sure that the number of variables match the number of values, or else we get an error. So the number of variables there, which is x, y, z, should match the number of values you have here. Orange, banana. So this is 3 variables and this is 3 values here. You can see. So if you're having 4 variables and you have just 3 values, you'll be getting 0. And also, one value to multiple variables. How do we do that? You can assign the same value to multiple variables in one line. Like s equals to y equals to z equals to just one value, orange. Print x, print y, print z. So it's going to print them differently. You print x will be orange, y orange, z orange. So we are going to try these 2 examples now. Going to our PyCharm, going to my notepad. Let's see example of it. Let's first see example of this, assigning the same variables to the no. So we have control paste. So I'm clicking play now. Let's see our answer. So it prints my x to be orange, my y to be banana, and my z to be cherry, as you can see. Now, what if I now have for my p? Let me now play. Let's see. It's going to give us an error. Can you say error? Because your variable is much more than your value. So that's why. But now, what if I now put another value here? Let's say pineapple. So let's see if it's going to give me my answer. Let's click on play. Sorry. So the reason why it's not giving me my answer for P is because I did not tell you to print P for me. So I'll write print P. So let's click on play. So as you can see, it has printed it for me, pineapple. So it has printed it for me. So make sure that number of variables equals to the number of values that you have. So now let's take second example. Assigning one line of variables, 3 variables to just one value. Control copy. So I'm going to paste this there. So let's see if it will work. Then I'll click on play. So can you see? So he printed them for me differently, x, y to be orange, y to be orange, z to be orange. Because I'm trying to tell you that, okay, x, y, and z is just having just one value. So now, we're going to unpack a collection. If you have a collection of values in a list, tuple, and so on, Python allows you to extract the values into variables. This is called unpacking. Example, fruit. We have apple, banana, cherry, x, y, z equals to fruit. Print x, print y. So you can indicate it, fruit, and the name of the fruit, x, y, z. The title is fruit. So print x, y, and z. So let's see how it works. I'll go to my code now. I'll copy the same example we just talked about now. Ctrl C. I'll go to my PyCharm and paste and click on play. Let's see the value is going to give us. As you can see, it's printed x for me to be apple, y to be banana, and z to be cherry. Yeah, can you see it now? So since I've told you that print fruits and fruits are these, so this is an example of what? Unpack collection. We also have output variables. The Python print function, this bracket, a print bracket function, is often used to output variables. So when you see here print it's telling us to give us the output of what is inside that print. And in the print bracket function, you output multiple variables separated by a comma. So when we have x equals to Python, y is and z is also print x, y, z. So it's going to output it for us. So let's see the example. I'll go to my notepad now. Let's see. We have already done example of something like this, but for emphasis sake, let's do that again. Paste and play. So I'm trying to print x for me, and x was Python is awesome, as you can see here. Now let's pick the second example here that we talked about earlier now. X is Python, y is x, z is awesome, print x, y, z. So let me copy and paste and click on play. So as you can see, Python is awesome. X is Python, y is and z is awesome. So I'm trying to print everything. So it's joining them together automatically because I put a comma there. That's why it's joining them together and join them for me as a sentence. So you can also use the plus operator to output the multiple variables like this. You can say x is Python, y is z is awesome. Print x plus y plus z. So it's also print Python is awesome by using plus, or you can use comma. So notice the space character after Python and is. Can you see this space here after Python and the space here after is? Without them, the result will be Python is awesome. So because we have space here, we have space here. That is why it's giving me something different. So let's see now if we use the second method by using plus, and we have to put a space because we are using plus, or else it will join them together. So let's try it out now. I'll put Ctrl paste now and play. So you can see Python is awesome after using plus. Now this all this space here I have, like Python here, let me clean the space here, and click on play. Let's see the difference. Can you see there's no longer space here? Can you see it now? So that is why it is important to do that. So we'll be going to the next part now, which is let's talk about this. They say for numbers, the plus character works as a mathematical operator. So if it is number now, it works a mathematical operator. Instead of writing 5, 10, it will add it for you. So that is why it is important that when you're using number, don't expect to get the same value. It will add it for you. So we can also do something like that. Going to my notepad there, I'll write I copy this, control copy, then I'll go to my PyCharm and paste. So let me see. Why is not pasting? So let's paste now and see how it's going to be. So can you see that it's added it for me? X plus y, which is 5 plus 10, 15. So in case of number, it add. If it's words, it pronounce it together. So it's different. So now let's go back to the next part, which is in the print function. When you try to combine a string and a number with the plus operator, Python will give you an error. So in the print function, if you want to try to combine a string and number with the plus, it will surely give an error because it cannot add alphabet and number together. So the best way to output multiple variables in the print function is to separate them with commas, which even support different data types like this. X equals to 5, y is John, print x comma y. So it will print them differently. Now, the last part I want to move to is what? Global variables. Remember, variables that are created outside of a function, as in all the examples above we talk about, are known as global variables. Global variables can be used by everyone, both inside of function and outside. Example now, create a variable outside of a function and use it inside the function. We have x is awesome. Def my function, you put brackets, then column here. Now say print Python is, there's a space here, plus x. So now I'm trying to print Python is. I'm giving it what x is all about. X is awesome. So now I'm trying to define my function for me. Python is, then I put a space, plus my value of x, then give me my function back. Also, if you create a variable with the same name inside the function, this variable will be local and can also be used inside the function. The global variable with the same name will remain as it was, global and with the original value. What do we mean? We have example, create a variable inside a function with the same name as the global. So we have x is awesome. Define my function for me by saying x is fantastic. We have awesome now, we have fantastic. Now I'm telling it print Python is plus x, give me my function, and print Python is then plus x. So we're going to work on these two examples now. I'm going to my notepad. I have a sample of it already. So let's see what we mean by global variables. Ctrl C. I'll go to my PyCharm now. So I'm going to play it here. Click on play. So give me Python is what? Awesome. So I'm telling you that this x is awesome. Print Python is plus this x. So it's going to add this x for me, my variable x for me, which is what? Awesome. Now the second example, which I would like us to understand better. So I'm going to paste. I've copied it already. So as you can see, x is awesome. Divide my function. Also, x is fantastic. Print Python is plus x. Now, to understand that part better, we need to understand this statement. If you create variable with the same name, I'm creating a variable with the same name, x here, and another x here, which is the same name. This variable will be local and can only be used inside the function. So I can use it inside the function, this function here. The second one I'm creating must be created inside the function here after def my function. The global variable with the same name will remain as it was. The one here will remain as it was with the original value. So now since we pasted it, let's see the results. I'm going to click on play. Can you see? So it's trying to tell me that give me two values. Since I already have two variables, okay, print Python is plus x for me. Remember I have two x. X is awesome, and another one created inside the function, which is local. X is fantastic. So it's going to print two values for me. Python is fantastic. Python is awesome, because I'm trying to indicate it that okay, I have x here. So I did not tell it this is the same variable. So it's going to read it as the same variable and but different statements, and that's why it's giving me different of my answer. It picked them one after the other. It first picked the one after the function by giving me Python is fantastic, and then gave me the second one, Python is awesome. So That is when we're talking about global variables. If you create a variable with the same name, this variable will be local and can only be used inside the function. So the second one be used. That's what it's going to read. So the global variable with the same name will remain as it was, and global with the original value. So it's going to create a variable inside the function with the same name as the global variable. So, and it's giving my two answer. Python is fantastic and Python is awesome. So we'll be stopping here for now. In our next video, we're going to understand more better on this. And the assignment for this week is, for this video, is for you to practice every examples or all the examples we've discussed today. So see you in the next video where we discuss Python data types, numbers, and casting. So thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to like, comment, and share. Bye.